it weighs both children in the picture.
Right.
It showed you process elimination. It says, cool, I hear your son, you want Ishmael, fine. I'm going to bless him, but listen, my purpose and election and promise is aimed towards the seed that's going to come after Sarah.
Right.
Quite clear. Genesis 21:22.
Genesis 21:2. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age.
So we go on to the birth. He's born. Read.
At the set time of which God had spoken to him.
Just like he said it was going to happen. Read.
And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac.
Genesis 21:28. Go to that.
And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast the same day that Isaac was weaned.
Mm-hmm.
And Sarah saw the son of Hagar the Egyptian, which he had born unto Abraham, mocking.
Mocking. Hagar was mocking. But go ahead, read.
Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this woman and her son.
So you want to know why Sarah cast him out? It's because she said he was mocking. But it's more to it. That mocking just means he was acting in a manner that was alarming. What was he mocking? To mock means you have to be imitating something. What was he imitating? What was he imitating? Do we know? We're going to find out. So she finished that off.
Cast out this bondwoman and her son.
She said, cast the bondwoman out. Go ahead.
For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heirs with my son.
The son of this bondwoman
with Isaac
shall not be heirs with my son. They said, well, that's not fair. Well, let me tell you how the God of the universe works. You think he just do Shazam with stuff? He put stuff in motion so his plan can work out fine. All this was just something that needed to be in motion to make his election stand. So we're going to go with the meaning was this. And what we're going to go to the meaning of that, let's go to the book of Jasher. And we're going to see why Sarah wanted Ishmael cast out. Why? We're going to go to the book of Jasher. All right? Hopefully we'll have a link. You can click and download the book of Jasher too. But the lesson, you can also download that and follow. So let's go to 21, read verse 11.
The book of Jasher, chapter 21, verse 11.
Go ahead.
And Ishmael, the son of Abraham, was grown up in those days.
Go ahead.
He was 14 years old when Sarah bare Isaac to Abraham.
So Ishmael was 14 when Isaac was born. Right? Go ahead.
And God was with Ishmael, the son of Abraham.
Go ahead.
And he grew up. And he learned to use the bow and became an archer.
Now what we're going to read is we're going to give you the whole story. Because I can go straight to the points, but I want you to get the whole story so you can understand how it all panned out. Go ahead, finish reading.
And Ishmael came to Isaac.
Go ahead.
And when Ishmael was 5 years old, he was sitting with Ishmael. 13. And when Isaac was 5 years old, he was sitting with Ishmael at the door of the tent.
So when Isaac was 5, he was chilling with his brother at the door of the tent. They was chilling. These brothers, right? Read.
And Ishmael came to Isaac and seated himself opposite to him.
So he sat next to him. Go ahead.
And he took the bow.
He took what?
He took the bow.
So he took the bow, right?
And drew it.
Drew it.
And put the arrow in it.
And put the arrow in it.
And intended to slay Isaac.
He was going to try to kill Isaac. That's what he was mocking. He was mocking murder. He was mocking murder. Read.
And Sarah saw the act which
And that's what Sarah saw. Read.
And Sarah saw the act which Ishmael desired to do to her son Isaac.
Go ahead.
And it grieved her exceedingly on account of her son.
Go ahead.
And she sent up for Abraham and said unto him, cast out this bondwoman and her son.
Stop. Now it doesn't make it seem, and I'm going to put it in the common terms how we are in the world. It didn't make Abraham look like a sucker. Because when you read, it's like, oh, you're just going to just listen to your wife and tell him to cast your son away? Well, who would do that? What man would just cast his firstborn away? A man that knows that a son that's going to kill the heir of God's promise. Oh, that's more worth than getting rid of. That's worth getting cast away. So he listened to his wife, yes, but he understand the promise God told him. And he wasn't going to let nobody put an end to that, not even his own blood. So yeah, you got to go. Read.
And Sarah said unto him, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for her son shall not be heir with my son. For thus did he seek to do unto him this day.
Go ahead.
And Abraham hearkened to the voice of Sarah.
Go ahead.
And he rose up early in the morning.
Go ahead.
And he took 12 loaves and a bottle of water, which he gave to Hagar.
And what he do?
And sent her away with her son.
Peace.
And Hagar went with her son to the wilderness. And they dwelt in the wilderness of Paran with the inhabitants of the wilderness. And Ishmael was an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness a long time.
And he dwelt in the wilderness for a long time. He didn't dwell in the land of Canaan in Israel. The wilderness of Paran. Look on your map. That's a challenge. Look where Paran is. Right? Finish reading.
And he and his mother afterward went to the land of Egypt. And they dwelt there. And Hagar took a wife for her son from Egypt.
Go ahead.
And her name was Meribah. And the wife of Ishmael conceived and bare 4 sons and 2 daughters. And Ishmael and his mother and his wife and children afterward went and returned to the wilderness. And they made themselves tents in the wilderness in which they dwelt. And they continued to travel and then to rest monthly and yearly. And God gave Ishmael flocks and herds and tents on account of Abraham his father.
So what God blessed them with? He blessed them off the account of his pop. Alright?
Right.
Read.
And the man increased in cattle. And Ishmael dwelt in deserts and in tents, traveling and resting for a long time. And he did not see the face of his father.
Alright, so let's go. Let's finish this off. Let's just finish this off. Let's go to the sacrifice. So we know how he was cast out. We understand the promises, the fulfillments, these things that we was dealing with. And, you know, that's enough right there. I mean, we're painting the picture quite clear. But we want to finish it off. You know what I'm saying? And let's go to Genesis 22:1. Let's go straight to the sacrifice. Right? Go ahead.
Genesis 22:1. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, I am here.
Yeah.
And he said, Take now thy son, thine only son Isaac.
Say it again.
Thine only son Isaac.
Say it again.
Thine only son Isaac.
Thy only son Isaac.
Whom thou lovest.
Wait, wasn't Ishmael born at this time too?
Yes.
Matter of fact, Ishmael was born before Isaac. So why has he said thy only son? Thy only son. Why? Because he's the only son worthy of promise and election. Yes, the only son. Whom thou lovest. Read.
And get thee into the land of Moriah.
Go ahead.
And offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of.
He said, listen, I want you to take that son. I want you to go take him to the Mount Moriah. Offer him as a burnt offering. Whew. Sound like a cruel guy, right? Yeah, but only if you don't understand him. Right? Go ahead.
And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went into the place of which God had told him.
Now, here's a point I want to key point. Most High tempt Abraham with his only son Isaac. But in verse 3, it's something I want y'all to pay attention to, please. It says, Abraham rose up early in the morning and he saddled on his ass, right? And he took 2 of the young men with him. Who was the 2 young men he took with him and Isaac? Who were they? I never heard no one prove this point. This is a very critical point. Who was the 2 men? Who was the 2 men? So let's play the Islamic game right here for a second. say it was Ishmael. So Abraham took Ishmael, right? But who was the two young men that he took with Ishmael to go get sacrificed? I want to know. We're going to get that. All right? But first, let's finish this off. Go to verse 5. Remember, the two young men. Go ahead.
And Abraham said unto his young men,
His young men. Read.
Abide you here with this ass.
Chill. Wait here for a minute. Go ahead.
And I and the lad will go yonder.
And me and this young son, is going to go forth. Read.
And worship. And come again to you.
You will stay here. My son and I will go up and worship. And then we will come back down to you.
They're going to go worship and come again to you. In other words, the two young men don't even know what they was going up to go do. They thinking they're going to go, him and a young son is going to go worship. Right? They said chill and we're going to come back. Go ahead.
And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father, and said.
So Isaac spoke to Abraham his father, but remember to say if it's Ishmael. So Ishmael spoke to Abraham his father. Go ahead.
My father. And he said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for the burnt offering?
He said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb?
And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went both of them together.
Go ahead.
And they came to the place where God had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there.
Go ahead.
And laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood.
Right.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife, and to slay his son.
So he took the knife to slay his son.
And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said,
Go ahead.
Abraham, Abraham.
Go ahead.
And he said, Here I am.
Right.
And he said, Lay not thy hand upon thy lad,
Go ahead.
neither do thou anything unto him.
Check it. Don't do nothing to him. Go ahead, read.
For now I know that thou fearest God.
So it was only for a test. That's why I said it's a cruel God. The God was testing Abraham. We're going to explain who was the two young men and why God tested Abraham. Alright? Go ahead, seeing thou what?
Seeing thou not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me.
Go ahead.
And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns.
Go ahead.
And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place Jehovah-Jireh, as it is said to this day, the mount of the Lord, it shall be seen.
You understand? So, in this, we got the understanding of, well, we didn't get the understanding yet. We're going to show it. But who are the two young men? And why did the Lord want to tempt Abraham? You understand? And what was the reason for it? Well, we're going to get a better understanding on it by going back to the book of Jasher, chapter 22, but we'll go to verse 40 this time.
The book of Jasher, chapter 22, verse 40. And Isaac the son of Abraham was growing up in those days. Okay. And Abraham his father taught him the way of the Lord.
So we went to the book of Jasher first, explaining Ishmael and his situation with Isaac. Now we go into the book of Jasher to explain Isaac's story. Alright, finish. Verse 41.
And when Isaac was 37 years old, Ishmael his brother was going about with him in a tent. And Ishmael boasts of himself to Isaac, saying,
Stop. Here's a question. How old was, for those who know, is Isaac? How old was Isaac when he took when Abraham took him to get sacrificed? I don't know why movies. This shows how uneducated the scholars in the movies are. They make it seem like he was a little boy. But here tell you he was 37 years old. 37. That's way far from a little boy. Alright? So it says, and when Isaac was 37 years old, Ishmael, his brother, was going about him in the tent. Go ahead.
And Ishmael boasted of himself to Isaac, saying,
Boasting. On what?
I was 13 years old when the Lord spoke to my father to circumcise us.
Listen, I know you talking about you special and all that, but I was 13 years old way back. I was 13 years old when our father decided to start circumcising. I was the first in line. I'm the number one. I'm top of it. I'm here to everything. I'm here at the whole land and all the possessions. All right? So you start boasting that. Go ahead.
And I did according to the word of the Lord, which he spoke to my father.
And I did everything the Lord told me to do when he spoke to my father. Go ahead.
And I gave my soul unto the Lord.
And I gave my soul to the Lord. I've done everything I can to do to follow the commandments that Most High gave my father. Read.
And I did not transgress his word,
Go ahead.
which he commanded my father.
So remember we said it's not about works. It's not about anything you do. It's about election. So this sounds like Ishmael has done a good thing. When this give Ishmael a reason to be the chosen, he followed everything the father said. He was first in line to get the covenant that he established with the father, a circumcision. He was in the ball. But they ain't got nothing to do with the election of God. You understand? Read.
And Isaac answered Ishmael, saying,
Isaac telling him no.
Why dost thou boast to me about this?
What you boasting about that for? Like, what you boasting about things that you're supposed to do?
About a little bit of thy flesh which thou didst take from thy body,
You boasting about that?
concerning which the Lord commanded thee?
How you boasting about something that the Lord commanded? You boasting like you did it. No, the Lord commanded you to. You were supposed to do it. So what you boasting for? But check him out. Read.
As the Lord liveth,
As the Lord liveth. We about to reveal something here. As the Lord liveth. Read.
the God of my father Abraham,
The God of my father Abraham.
if
Read.
the Lord shall say unto my father, take now thy son Isaac, and bring him up an offering before me, I would not refrain,
He
but I
said-
would joyfully exceed to do it.
He said, you boasting about the things God commanded you to do. Check this. If my God said to my father, take me as a sacrifice and sacrifice me, I'm with it. I'm going to do it. Because that's how much I love my God. Now we starting to understand why the sacrifice part happened. Finish reading.
And the Lord heard the words of Isaac
The
spoke
Lord
to
what?
Ishmael. He heard the words of Isaac spoke to Ishmael.
He heard the words Isaac told to Ishmael. Go ahead.
And it seemed good in the sight of the Lord.
And it seems so good. The words sound so sweet.
And he thought to try Abraham in this matter.
Now we know why the Lord decided to tempt Abraham. He said, I'm going to tempt him. So the Lord went to Abraham and said, well, I'm going to tempt him according to this matter, according to what Isaac said to Ishmael. Read.
And the day arrived when the sons of God came and placed themselves before the Lord.
Go ahead.
And Satan also came with the sons of God before the Lord.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence thou comest? Whence comest thou? And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down it.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Satan, What is thy word to me concerning all the children of the earth? And Satan answered the Lord and said, I have seen all the children of the earth who serve thee and remember thee when they require anything from thee. And when thou givest them the thing which they require from thee, they sit at their ease and forsake thee, and they remember thee no more.
So when Satan said, listen, I'm going to tell you about the children of the earth. When you give them something, they just chill. Every time you give them something, they take it, they feel happy about it, but they don't do nothing for you. They don't sacrifice for you. They don't give you no praise and honor. What you uphold this people for? Read.
Hast thou seen Abraham, the son of Terah?
He's giving you an example now. He said, have you seen Abraham, the son of Terah? Have you seen him? Go ahead.
Who at first had no children,
Had no children. Go ahead.
and he served thee and erected altars to thee wherever he came.
when he ain't had no children, oh man, he was serving altars to you. He was giving you glory, praise, honor. But go ahead.
And he brought up offerings upon them.
Go ahead.
And he proclaimed thy name continually to all the children of the earth.
Go ahead.
And now that his son Isaac is born unto him,
And now that his son Isaac is born unto him,
he has forsaken thee.
He has forsaken you. He forgotten you. Go ahead.
He has made a great feast for all of the inhabitants of the land.
He made a feast for everybody in the land when his son was born. But go ahead.
And the Lord hath he forgotten. For amidst all that he has done, he brought thee no offering, neither burnt offering nor peace offering, neither ox, lamb, nor goat of all that he killed on the day that his son was weaned.
He did none of these things when his son was born. He gave you nothing. He gave it all to people around him, but he gave you no glory. Read.
Even from the time of his son's birth till now, being 37 years, he built no altar before thee, nor bore any offering to thee, for he saw that thou didst give what he requested before thee, and he therefore forsook thee.
Go ahead.
And the Lord said to Satan, Hast thou thus considered my servant Abraham? For there is none like him upon the earth.
You're like, wait, I hear you talking, but did you really examine Abraham? Ain't nobody like him on earth. Read.
A perfect and an upright man before me,
Go ahead.
one that feareth God,
So God knows his people. So watch this. Read.
and avoideth evil.
Go ahead.
As I live, were I to bring up a burnt offering before me for his flock and herds.
Go ahead.
And Satan answered the Lord and said, Speak then now unto Abraham as thou hast said, and thou wilt see whether he will not this day transgress and cast aside thy words.
So Satan wanted the Most High to test Abraham, because Satan knew that Abraham did not give up nothing for the Lord. So he knew that by that, if he tests him and he don't do nothing, he will forsake Abraham. So to forsake Abraham means you make void of the covenant, promise, and the election. So Satan was smart. He was trying to void out the election, because he knew that the Savior who was going to destroy him was going to come through that elected seed. So he knew the future, so he just tried to deal with it from the root. Right?